Good morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. Look at this. Those of you that have watched my channel since at least August of 2016 will recognize this box, but what I've got here is the second of these very strange engines called an XY engine. And I say very strange because I made 12 videos of this thing and I've got a playlist dedicated to this engine. Like I said, over the course of 2016, 2017. This is what I'm going to call a backdoor, back shop. I won't go so far as to say it's an illegal copy, but it's a backdoor copy of the OS46AX engine. And I had there were some interesting features on the first one of these I got, but a buddy of mine that lives about 40 miles south of me offered this engine up to me and he sent it to me, and I sent him 15 bucks just for the shipping and the time it took him to box it up. He didn't even really want that much for it, but that's what I gave him. This is a complete new in box one of these silly XY46 engines, and I really couldn't turn it down because the first one I had, I tried to destroy it by running all kinds of really harsh tests on it, and the damn thing just wouldn't die. So, like I said, this is a complete new in box engine. Comes with the manual, which we'll talk about here in a minute. The exhaust screws, a wrench, and a gasket here. So, here is the engine. So it says 46 on here, XY. Now, at the time I had this, I was not that familiar. When I got the first one, I was not that familiar with the OS-AX series engines because I'd never seen or had one, and I didn't know it was a copy of them at that time. But according to this gentleman, this is a new in-box engine that's never seen fuel. And real quick, let me just go to this manual. This manual is a plagiarized copy, an exact plagiarized copy of the OS46AX manual. The only things they've done differently is they replaced OS engines here. They took the 46AX off. This is a slightly different picture, but other than that, it is exactly the OS engines manual. And they even they didn't cover their tracks and change the part number of this exhaust, because they do reference the exhaust here as the E3010 silencer, which, I mean, this is just a direct plagiarized copy of OS's instructions, which is odd enough. I mean, at least normal companies like ASP, you know, legitimate manufacturers would at least make their own copy, maybe use some of the same information, terminology. But anyway, so this is a strange engine. Like I said, it's supposed to be new in box, but yet the throttle is just locked up solid. And here you've got this strange, let me just zoom in here a bit more, strange cross-point screws attaching the exhaust that are silver in color, but yet you've got these powder-coated or whatever black fasteners. Now, one of the things, I didn't go back and watch all of the videos, or really any of the videos on series of this, but I know one of the last time the engine I had, it had some strange screw screwed in here, like this part was missing, and that's what held this throttle arm on, but it also covered up the idle mixture screw. So I don't see that happening here. So that other engine may not have been new in box, it may have been tampered with. Either way, they're all odd. But one of the things I thought was odd too is that, and I know I noted it then, is that even though these are supposedly metric fasteners, they are so sloppy on the heads right out of the get-go. And I've tried putting SAE fasteners in there, but I mean, just look at that. That's the right wrench for that. And see how much slop is in there? In fact, on the other engine, I actually replaced the head screws because they were so sloppy. Now, the thing I'm going to try here is they have a little hex key in here. If I can get this silly little bag open, I want to see if this hex key they provided fits any better. No, it's still just sloppy as crap. So anyway, this engine kind of turns over. Ugh, it's really rough. Really rough. I mean, the bearings feel like they're toast already. I don't know if this is... I can't remember if I put this in here or not. I may have put that in there just for the hell of it. I'm not sure when I was looking at it earlier, but this thing is just rough as hell. So I want to pop this back plate off and head off real quick, if I can do it without screwing up the frickin' fasteners because they're so sloppy. This is just a real hack engine. I don't know if any of you viewers have come across these things in the past, but this is just shady backdoor, back room production crap, which I'm probably gonna maybe completely tear this thing down, if not just lube it up real good and see if I can't get it turning over more, and see if I can't destroy this one any faster than the other one, which I have to admit I never did destroy the other one. In fact, the other engine is actually quite an excellent runner, and I tried running it with all kinds of fuels, very small props to see if I could get it to blow up. What else did I do to it? Ran a tank of some kind of cool power through it at wide open throttle, the entire tank. I've done all kinds of crap to that other engine just trying to get it to break. Oh, I think, oh, god damn, I think I'm gonna have to go out and heat that up because that rear cover is not wanting to come off at all. But I really want to see what the inside of this thing looks like, because if it's new in box and it feels so tight and rough, it's just going to be a curiosity. And those fasteners are so sloppy and the heads are so shallow that I can't even really keep my wrench in there and get it going very good at all. So it looks like that rear cover, I'm probably going to have to go heat it up, or at least strike it with a rubber mallet and see if I can persuade it to come off. Okay. There's the... Oh yeah, that's dry as hell in there. There's not a single drop of oil in there. And now I can't even rotate it down. Is there a shim? No. Yeah, this is just... I don't know. This is just a really, really strange engine. I got it more as a novelty, just for the hell of it. I think I'm going to go and try and put some oil in here, here, and heat this entire thing up and crack this thing with a rubber mallet a few times and see if I can't get it apart and loosened up anymore. Okay, so that took a lot more effort than I think it was probably even worth, but still a little bit warm. I do have it turning over now. At least I had a prop on it. Got this freed up. I still need to get these screws from the carb off, but I did manage to get this heated up enough to come off. And whatever silly little gasket it had on it, looks like a little rubber gasket's gone. And of course you're probably going to see oil in here now because I used a pretty liberal amount of 3-in-1 oil in there just to get this thing loosened up with some heat. But I'm pretty much, I think I'm going to have to excuse me, call bullshit on the newness of this engine, because to me, just looking at the inside there, it looks like it's been run before. Maybe at the factory the morons that made this engine ran it, I don't know. But I see, I mean, what else would this be? That's not rust, because aluminum doesn't rust. This thing is still rather warm, but I see black, dark colored, caramel colored residue down near that bearing also, which is also not usually indicative of a brand new engine. They wouldn't have that. So I don't know, maybe it's just completely inferior bearings, but, and again, it kind of looks like a rusty color, but you know, aluminum can't rust. So I don't know what to make of this engine. Whether it's new, it's not new, doesn't really matter. I didn't really pay much for it, but this is just such a joke, really. And I'm probably not even going to try and change those bearings or disassemble it any more than this, just because of the fact of what this engine is. I'm probably just going to go straight to putting it on the bench and running the living crap out of it, and maybe it'll blow up on the first run, I don't know. But I do at least want to get this carb off and see if I can see what that crank shaft looks like in there. Okay, yeah, so look at that crank. Yeah, let me zoom back in here a bit. Look inside this crank area here. That crankshaft looks rusty. It's steel, so there's a little bit of rust on it. So that tells me that probably what I'm feeling on these bearings is a little bit of rust on the races and all the steel parts, which makes up 90% of the friggin' bearing. But that's alright. I've got some 3-in-1 oil in there, and that should at least begin to free up some of those components. I'm still going to stick to my plan of not doing anything with this, trying to disassemble it, replace bearings. Quite honestly, this engine isn't really worth my time of replacing bearings on. It'll just be more interesting, I think, to just try and run it as it is and see what the hell happens with it. Maybe I'll just wring the shit out of it out on the first run and see what happens. But anyway, this has been a look inside of the second of the strange XY engines. Hey Bella, what you doing up there? You don't know? You do this like twice a week.